Wonder weapons in Call of Duty Zombies are incredibly powerful and helpful, but which 5 are the worst of them all? Let's take a look. Hi guys, and welcome back to another top 5 zombie video, and today we're going to be ranking the top 5 worst wonder weapons from World at War, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 zombies. Now, I'm not saying that these are bad weapons, I'm just saying that they are the worst of the best. Also, just quickly guys, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very much appreciated. No worries if you can't, but if you could subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. So with that said, let's move on to the list. And coming in at the number 5 spot, I have gone for the Lightning Staff of Origins from Black Ops 2. Now, the Lightning Staff is a good weapon. I'm not saying this is a bad weapon, but I think out of all the staffs that we see, the Fire Staff, the Ice Staff and the Wind Staff, the Lightning Staff does the least amount of damage. And I also think it's the most annoying one to build as well. I don't like the fact that you've got to jump off the areas of the tank, because I always just seem to miss the jump and it doesn't really seem to work for me, so I just tend to not build the Lightning Staff when I'm playing Origins. And I just think, although it does have the most ammo capacity of the 4 staffs, you get 12 sort of bolts per magazine and then 120 in the reserve ammo. Although it has the most ammo, there is a reason for that, because it is statistically the weakest staff. That's where you get more ammo with it. But it does have the fastest rate of fire. It is actually obviously fully automatic. If you just hold down the trigger, it will just continue shooting out the bolts of lightning. So it does have a couple of good features, but I just don't really like it because, like I said, the damage is quite low. It's quite annoying to build, and also I'm not really a fan of building stuff in zombies anyway. I don't really like building stuff. It's just me personally. This is my list, right? So I just don't really think that's enjoyable for zombies. But overall, not a bad weapon. Of course, it's a good weapon to use, but it's just not as good as everything else. So I'm going to put the Lightning Staff in at the number 5 spot. Moving on to the number 4 spot, I have gone for the Wunderwaffe DG2 from Der Riese specifically. Now, for those of you who have been playing zombies for a long time and you are experienced with World at War zombies, you all know exactly what I'm going to say. And that is, if you shock yourself with this Wunderwaffe only on Der Riese, this does not apply to Shinonuma. If you shock yourself with the Wunderwaffe on Der Riese, then you lose your Juggernaut perk. Now, I'm not sure this is a glitch and it's just never been fixed, or if it's intentional from Treyarch. I'm not sure, but you don't actually lose the icon in the corner, above the level. That Juggernaut symbol still stays there, but you just lose. You just lose the perk. And of course, when you're playing on solo play on World at War, that is just an absolute huge risk when using the Wunderwaffe, because there is no quick revive. So if you're playing on solo play and you shock yourself with the Wunderwaffe, you're going to have to play the rest of the game without Juggernaut, and there is no way you can get it back at all unless you restart the game. So this is a massive, huge issue with the Wunderwaffe on Der Riese. It's very, very risky to use it, but it is such a good weapon, of course. It can kill up to 10 zombies with 1 bolt, but it's just, personally, I don't pick it up if I get it in the box. I think the risk is too big, especially on solo play. It's not as bad on co-op, because of course you can just be revived by a teammate and then by Juggernaut again. But on solo play, quick revive does nothing for you. So I would stay well away from the Wunderwaffe when playing on solo play. So that is the only reason, that reason alone is the only reason why the Der Riese Wunderwaffe is on this list. So it comes in at the number 4 spot. Moving along to the number 3 spot, I have gone for the Winter's Howl from Black Ops 1. Now, the Winter's Howl was introduced in the map 5, and there's also in Verrückt as well, on the Black Ops 1 version, of course. And the Winter's Howl is very underwhelming. I think that is the perfect word to describe it. So what it does is, when you shoot it, it basically slows the zombies down, and then you have to shoot them again to freeze them. So it's like a 2-shot kill on zombies that move quickly. If it's a slower moving zombie, then it kills them in 1 bullet, I believe. But you know, if it's like a runner, you know, or pass round 10 or whatever, then you've got to shoot them twice, which is quite bad for a wonder weapon. And also, it doesn't come with much ammo either. 6 bullets per magazine, and you get 24 in the reserve ammo. So you only get 30 shots, which is not a lot. You know, past round sort of 10, and this weapon is just really not very good at all. It does have a lot of sort of splash damage, so you know you can shoot a lot of zombies with one blast of this weapon, which, you know, I guess is quite useful. But I think universally everyone sort of agrees that the Winter's Howl is not very good. You see here, you know, it's pretty cool how zombies do freeze, and you know you can shoot a lot of zombies with 1 shot, but the damage is quite bad. You know, 2 shots on round 10, and you only get 30 bullets in total. You know, you run out of ammo very, very quickly. But also a good thing I will say about the Winter's Howl is it is a pistol. So if you do go down, then you know you do hold on to it, which does help your teammates when they are reviving you. So it does have that in its corner. But overall, Winter's Howl is a very underwhelming wonder weapon, and it definitely does deserve a spot on this list. So I'm going to put it in at the number 3 spot. Moving on to the number 2 spot, I have gone for the VR11 from Call of the Dead on Black Ops 1. Now, the VR11 is one of 2 wonder weapons on this map, the other one, of course, being the Scavenger. And the VR11 is a very strange weapon. It has a couple of uses. The first one being when you shoot a zombie with it, it turns them into a human, and it distracts you know, some other zombies, and you know they'll chase after the human. It doesn't distract all of the zombies. It's not like a monkey bomb or anything, or a pack-a-punch crossbow. It just distracts 1 or 2 zombies, which, you know, isn't really a massive help in my opinion. And the other feature which this wonder weapon does is if you shoot George with it, it will calm him down. So if George is angry and you know he's running after you, if you shoot him with this weapon, it will calm him down, which is quite nice, to be fair. But the reason why it's on this list and it's at number 2 is because it's always outshined by the Scavenger, because the Scavenger is just, you know, superior in every other way. It does more damage. It's, you know, better for tackling George. You know, it's just got so many better reasons to pick up the Scavenger than the VR11. Also, the VR11 doesn't have that much ammo either. I always tend to find myself running low on ammo when I use the VR11. But of course, it is essential for the Easter egg. So if you want to complete the Easter egg and Call Up the Dead, you have to use the VR11. So I guess that's probably the only major reason why it's even on the map. If you do pack-a-punch the VR11 though, it does improve massively. It basically takes away George for that entire round. But I just feel as if the VR11 is just a waste of a weapon slot, especially if you don't have Mule Kick. You know, do you really want 50% of your weapon slots being taken up by this weapon here? Probably not. Well, I know I certainly wouldn't. If you get Mule Kick, I could understand it. You know, have 2 good weapons and then have the VR11 on the side just to take out George. I think that's definitely the way to go if you are going to choose to use the VR11. But I just don't think it's a very good wonder weapon. To be fair, it's certainly not something I would have if I don't have Mule Kick. So that is the reasons. Those are the reasons why I'm going to put the VR11 in at the number 2 spot. But guys, coming in at the number 1 spot, we have a weapon which is genuinely bad. So everything else I've mentioned on this list isn't bad, they're just not as good as the other weapons. But this weapon here, the jet gun, is genuinely atrocious. So I have previously explained in another video, the top 5 most underwhelming weapons video, which I did, why I dislike this weapon. And I'm going to do the same in this video. So this weapon is just awful. It takes so long to build. You have to get 4 parts which are scattered around this gigantic map, and you got to bring them all to the same place in the town to build it. There's 1 part in the tunnel. There's 1 part in the hut where you get the bowie knife. 1 part at the power station, and the other part at Narcta and Totem. And once you've spent, you know, 20 minutes getting all these parts, you build it, and then you are rewarded with a weapon which you can use for about 13 seconds in total. Otherwise it just overheats, and it takes so long to cool down. I think it's like over 2 minutes, I think I read somewhere. It takes to cool down to go back down to, you know, the coolest sort of on the scale. You see on top of the weapon there's like a little scale and a gauge, whatever it's called, and the bar moves down so slowly, so you've got to basically wait like 2 minutes before you can like use this weapon properly, and it goes up so quickly as well. When you shoot it, the gauge moves so fastly up, and it's just so weak. It doesn't even do any damage either. It's just honestly a dreadful weapon. You can't sprint with it either, so you're not very mobile. You can't aim in. I don't know if that's really considered to be a bad thing, but you can't aim in with it. But to be fair, it's not actually, it doesn't use up your weapon slot though, so it's like it's classed as an equipment similar to the turbine, or you know, the turret or whatever, so it doesn't actually take up a weapon slot. But overall, I just think, you know, the amount of time it takes to build it and everything else, it's just such a bad weapon, and it's got to come in. It's got to come in at the #1 spot. Now, we do actually have one weapon which has made the honourable mentions list, although this is of course a list which you don't want to be on, but we have the ray gun from Narkta and Toten from World at War. Now, hear me out, I'm obviously very aware that this is the only weapon on this map which is capable of dealing a high enough damage to a zombie to help you get to a high round, but the problem is with this ray gun, it is so deadly that it can kill you or down you with one bullet, or one splash I should say. So on solo play on this map, if you shoot the ray gun too close to a wall or a zombie, it will just automatically just down you. You won't get a red screen and then go down. It just kills you in one hit. If you're playing on co-op, I think it's 2 hits. So on solo plays, solo play specifically, the ray gun is very, very dangerous. And of course, on World at War, there are no on this map there are no perks. There is no PhD flopper. There is no juggernog, so there is no protection against the splash damage on the ray gun. But if, like I said, the ray gun is the only weapon on this map which can help you, you know, realistically get to a very high round because of how high the damage is. So that's the reason why it didn't make the full list, because it does have a saving grace that you know, it's the only wonder weapon on this map. But I think the fact that the splash damage can kill you in one hit is just, it's got to be mentioned. And I do think that it's a fantastic weapon, but then again, on the other hand, it's a death trap. So just depends on which way you look at it, but I do think it is fair that I add it onto the honourable mentions list. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please remember to like and subscribe to show your support, and also leave your thoughts down below in the comment section about what you thought about this list. Also guys, just quickly, I have created an entire playlist full of different top 5 zombie lists, so please ensure that you check them out as well. So thank you again for watching, and I will be back soon with another video. Goodbye.